Hello, this is Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech number 11. Here talking about the Commander Arsenal. This is the first of probably several previews of this new product that's coming out that I'm going to do. As many of you know, I am extremely excited about this because Commander is really what got me back into Magic. I enjoy it. It's one of the best formats that's out there. So far, we've seen a little bit of information released about the Commander Arsenal. We know that it's going to have 120 sleeves in it, a new life counter, some plus and minus counters, a series of small, or I shouldn't say small, a series of regular size foil cards and some oversized foil cards. Let's look at this a little bit more in depth. The price tag has been announced at $75. This seems a bit high to me compared to the Commander decks, which were 100 card, instantly playable for $40. In this case, you get 18 cards instead of 40 for nearly double the price point. This product appears that it's targeted more at a legacy crowd of individuals who want to put cool foil cards into their legacy decks and not really the kind of budget commander crowd that I'm very familiar with. Individuals who will easily spend $7, $14, $21 to pick up a few rares to customize their deck, but the $75 price tag is actually really high for the average commander player. The new life counter I do really like. It understands that Commander is not a 20 life game and that the spin downs are just annoying to play with. This is much better for Commander. I like that they've designed something specific for Commander here, and this is the type of direction they really need to go to make people who play Commander feel included and part of the community. The two different sizes of cards has really confused me from Wizards. I do not know a single Commander player that likes the oversized cards. The oversized cards are really large. They don't fit in a deck box. They only fit in these really funky deck boxes that are extremely inefficient for carrying decks around. If there's a significant production cost to these oversized cards, I would strongly encourage discontinuing or avoiding them altogether. They have a little bit of novelty value, and I know one or two people who liked kind of the older large cards that had been done before Commander, but no one that I know who plays EDH actually uses these large oversized cards. Now, I do know one person who did try taking and cutting these cards down so that their text was on the back of the card and the full picture was on the front, and just putting them in a sleeve. If they wanted to do something creative like that, do a full artwork version where the text of the card was on the back, so that might go over really well with the community because it still fits in a sleeve. When someone hinders it, they can shuffle it back into a deck, but having the full-size cards have just not been popular in any way that I've seen my playgroups. Now, with Sylvan Library putting a new artwork on it, making it foil, and making it one of the absolute best green cards out there, probably in the top 20 best green cards for Commander, this is the type of card that reprinting will make people really happy. Although the only people that I've talked to so far who are extremely excited about this happen to be Legacy Maverick players that are trying to get an all-foil Legacy deck and have significant cash to put into the game. None of the EDH players that I know have been overly excited about $75 for a foil of a card that they can get for about $8 or so. I think they may be a little bit off on the target demographic that they're going for here. But I think to make this more accessible to Commander players, there's going to have to be a super high value to these so that individuals can pick this up and then trade into other cards that they really want. I'm glad to see that Mimeoplasm is being released in a foil. It's unclear at this point whether that's a full-size giant or a small shuffle into your deck foil. I hope that it is the small shuffle into your deck foil. This is by far one of my favorite, although confusing from a rules perspective, cards that was put into Commander. It's just a lot of fun to play with. I know several people who've built rather different decks around this Commander, and coming up with these original cards, which I know we're not going to see any original cards in Commander, is the type type of thing that people really like. Putting some foils of the more popular ones is definitely the right direction for. The pros are Sylvan Library, an amazing card. Very glad to see it reprinted. It will help out in the Legacy community and make it maybe slightly more accessible in the EDH community. Although if this ends up being a $20 or $30 card, most of the EDH community is just going to get a white border version from one of the core sets. I do like that there's foils, although that's been a neutral for other people. The fact that the set comes with 120 sleeves is great. It's obnoxious to buy packs of 100 sleeves, and once a single sleeve splits, you have to end up buying more for Commander. So I like that they're noticing those Commander-specific things. The new artwork is always a plus for me. Sometimes I don't necessarily like the new artwork, but I love that they're pushing new artwork, and the Sylvan Library artwork I really like. The negatives is the focus on oversized cards. I cannot stand these cards. I love Commander. I don't want to see any more oversized cards. Please stop printing these and focus more on cards that can be shuffled into your average deck. $75 price point is really, really high for only 18 cards. The cards that are put in this really need to hit about $110 to $150 in current value, because this set could bring down the value of those cards that are reprinted. Individuals are not going to buy a set that probably has 2 or 3 colors worth of cards that they weren't even planning to play, just so that they can play 5 or 6 cards and then have to trade away the rest. I would much rather see more theme decks, or even some type of a sealed booster product that was aimed directly at the Commander market than 18 chase cards. Kind of neutral over the life counter net. I am pretty excited about it. Several of my friends are not too excited about it. The counters I haven't seen anybody really excited about, but nobody against it. So even though I like the life counter, it's on the neutral side. Overall, there's still a lot of potential with this, and I look forward to seeing what's coming out. Hopefully there's a little bit of time for Wizards to look at their design, because what I think would go over best in the community is full art Commander staples. A Solemn Simulacrum reprint would be wonderful in full art. Something that is playable in virtually any deck. Even though it's a reasonably priced card currently at $4 to $5 as it's rotating out of standard, having it available in a unique full art format would be great. Even an older card like Maze of Ith, which was at one time extremely easy to get a hold of, seeing something like that reprinted in full art would be wonderful. The other thing that Wizards is doing here that I really, really enjoy is the preview artwork, where you have an opportunity to try to guess what card this is. This is one of the cards from the Commander set that has been revealed with new artwork. My personal guess here is that this is a new version of a command tower, although it does kind of look like a snow-covered command tower, which would be kind of interesting in and of itself, but they've said there's no new cards. Curious what card you think this to be, and I look forward to seeing more cards put forward for the Commander Arsenal set. This has been Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech. Please feel free to contact me on Twitter or leave comments here, especially if you've got ideas on what Wizards can really do to make their future products, or this one, really go over well with the Commander community. Thanks.